kind-hearted. They were so welcoming, even in the most difficult of circumstances as in today. They were so welcoming towards me, people everywhere. And why is it that the center, despite Manipur being such an integral part of my country, refuses to take notice in the matter of great shame?
All right, ma'am, I want to now concentrate on your visit to Churachandpur, ma'am. As soon as you were back to the Imphal airport, the first thing that you mentioned was that as a woman yourself, you could make your way, you could reach Churachandpur without any assistance being provided by the state government. So, ma'am, on your particular journey to Churachandpur, ma'am, who helped you out? I'm sure it would be the warring communities themselves, but when they helped you, ma'am, what did you at least get a sense that, you know, apart from the violence that is already happening in Manipur, some people still want peace. So, ma'am, did you get the feeling on your journey, ma'am?
You see, people are very, very angry in Manipur right now. There's a hatred which has seeped into both the communities. That is what I understood. I also understand that they are united in their hatred for the Manipur government. They feel that the Chief Minister has completely failed them because he failed to contain the violence and in fact has ended up in a way not to take any action. Even the people in the relief camp in Moirang, in Imphal were very angry with him. So all throughout my journey to the Churachandpur district as well as to Kompokti, which I went the next day, these questions were there in my mind. How is it that a beautiful land gets converted into a war zone just because, these people are simple, they're very nice people, but there is an enmity, and that enmity is also stepping from, I believe it is stepping from inaction. So I think it is very unfortunate what has happened, and I'm also preparing a report right now for the government, for the central government. I'll be submitting my report, I'll be submitting my interim recommendations. But my question again and again to myself as well as to other people around the world, that what is the hope now? How do we move forward? When I met people in Churachandpur, when I met people in Moirang, when I met people in Imphal, one thing is so clear. They all want justice, they all want peace. But it's so unfortunate that neutral organizations like probably the center, who should step in and who should try and make sure that action is taken, justice is given. You see, in all these cases that I met, whether it was Churachandpur, whether it was Moirang, whether it was Imphal, all these horrific stories that I heard, there is one commonality. And that is that apart from the viral video case, the Manipur police has failed to make a single arrest. There are people who are missing. There are people like that 80-year-old woman who was burnt alive. She was the wife of a freedom fighter. There are so many such cases. A 70-year-old woman I met in Churachandpur. My heart goes out to her. Only son. She was sleeping with him. The moment she woke up, because she heard gunshots, the moment she woke up, she saw this bullet just pass through the son. And he died on the spot, and she's all alone now. So who is accountable for these deaths? Who is accountable for the sexual assault that has happened in Manipur? Who is accountable for such a huge loss of destruction? You see, everything is burned. Houses are burned. So much destruction has happened. So who is accountable, and how will we make sure that we'll go ahead and life will be restored to its normalcy? It's very, very sad. And I personally know at least 30 to 40 women who have fled from Manipur and reached Delhi. We are trying to get in touch with them. We spoke to them. We are trying to help them. But you see, the magnanimity of the problem and the complete insensitivity and apathy that has been displayed by the Manipur government as well as the central government is a matter that really makes my head hang in shame.
Oh man, now coming back to also, you had alleged that until the time that you met the two victims of that horrific video, ma'am, they were not being provided any ex gratia, no compensation, no legal aid, no counseling. But ma'am, yesterday the governor of Manipur, she gave an ex gratia compensation of 15 lakhs to the two victims. And also the victims of the violence are now being given 15,000 by the governor. So, ma'am, in your knowledge of politics and in your knowledge of how administration works, when did the governor start giving out ex gratia, ma'am? Because I will give you one example. There was an accident in Maharashtra highway yesterday, after which Prime Minister Narendra Modi personally tweeted in his Twitter account, and he awarded an ex gratia of 2 lakhs. But now in Manipur, it's the governor who is now starting to give. What do you have to say about that, ma'am?
How much amount was given? I'm sorry, I'm not
Ma'am,
aware of it.
15 lakh was given, ma'am. 15 lakhs.
To both the survivors or to one survivor?
To both of them, ma'am. 2 victims.
So I really want to congratulate the Manipur governor. In a way, she is acting as the de facto chief minister. Chief minister is absolutely. You see what kind of a that the governor, whose role is actually not there to really, act in a governing manner, is now being forced to take control of the state and actually help survivors. So she has waited for all these days that maybe the chief minister will rise up, will wake up and will help the survivors. But because he refused to do it, the governor on her own accord has done it. And I remember I went to Moirang relief camp and I was speaking to the survivors there of violence, and they informed me that the governor has visited them, but the chief minister never bothered to visit. So I think she's a lady and I think she's trying to do something for sure. And I really thank her for giving that amount. I still feel that it is less. I still feel that more needs to be done. But I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank this lady who is speaking up. You see, she has given interviews where she has blasted the government and informed that for the first time in her life, with all her years of politics, this is the first time in her life that she's seeing any state burn in this way, not to Manipur. So she is trying, she's doing it, and it's like if nobody is doing anything, then I guess people have to step in. I think it's a similar case with the Delhi Commission for Women. We don't have a mandate in Manipur. In fact, I was told that this is completely disastrous because A, we don't have a mandate, B, the government told us not to come. If tomorrow anything would have happened to me and my team, we would have been held responsible. We would have been blamed for it, for inviting the trouble. But still we went because we feel that all women in this country belong to us and we belong to every woman in this country. We don't divide women in Delhi, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Manipur, Tripura. No, we think that women in this country are important and each and every woman has rights, and human rights were violated in the worst form ever in this horrific case which became viral. And there are various other cases that need urgent attention of the government. So I really thank the governor of Manipur for taking this good step, and I think I would appeal to her that she needs to get a list of all the other survivors created and compensation has to immediately reach them.
All right, ma'am. Now I want to talk about the situation in the relief camps. According to your statement, after you visited the relief camps in Churachandpur, Kangpokpi, Moirang and also Imphal, ma'am, you had commented saying the condition of the relief camps are worst. But yesterday there was, apart from all the bad news that is coming out from the state, there is some good news in which a relief camp in Imphal, now the district administration has started providing vocational training to the victims of violence in the relief camps. Now, ma'am, my question is this. When you had gone to visit the relief camps in Churachandpur, Moirang, Kangpokpi and Imphal, was the same treatment being given to all relief camps? And also, ma'am, when you said the condition of the relief camps are worse, what did you mean by that, ma'am?
You see, all these relief camps, A, they are overcrowded. There are hundreds of people living there, children, elderly, even differently abled persons, but there is not enough care for them. That is one. The other thing is that food is an issue. Most of these camps are being able to provide hardly 2 meals in a day. And even the food is not nutritious. And there are children there. We need to look after them. There is a fear of vector-borne diseases, especially diseases through mosquitoes being spread in these areas. There's a problem with water. There is a problem with toilets. There is a problem and a very serious problem with medicines because there are the remoter areas like Churachandpur and all are not getting enough medicine. So I feel that while in one particular relief camp in the capital, the government is doing something. All right, it is good that they're doing something. But I really think that it has to reach everywhere, because the government has to be for everyone. The government has to be an organization which has to reach the remotest of the remote people. Right now, forget about the relief camps. I mean, relief camps are still getting something. What about those people who are stuck in their regions, in their houses in the hills, who have not moved to relief camps? Even help is not reaching them. So I think medicine especially is a very, very gray area which needs to be, I mean, immediate efforts need to be made in order to reach out to all the relief camps. And students, the schools. So I also read in the newspapers that, certain schools have opened in Imphal. But it is only about Imphal. What about the rest of the district? Schools are not opening there. What about all those children who lose a lot of, maybe probably even an year? How about making sure that counseling is reaching these relief camps? Each and every person I met has encountered some violence or the other. Their houses have been burned. That is why they are here. The kind of violence these children must have faced. Has the government been able to make a list of all those children who have become orphans? What steps are being taken in order to make sure that they are given the requisite care and protection? I think instead of doing photo ops, the government needs to right now make sure that each and every relief camp is being supported by it. You see, in most of these relief camps, they're being run by volunteers. They're being organized by volunteers. The government is hardly giving some food material. That is it. And that too through the MLA, through the DC. So no one even knows for sure that what material is actually being given by them to the remotest corners of Manipur. So the government has to be proactive. The Chief Minister has to be seen as working. The Chief Minister has to visit these areas, has to make all attempts to bring peace, not to just sit in his Imphal air-conditioned home and act as if everything is beautiful, because things are really, really dark.
All right, now, ma'am, a question that is a little apart. I mean, the nation woke up on the 19th of July to a very, very horrifying video after which only Manipur came into the scene. The nation woke up, they realized that Manipur is burning only on the July of 19th. Well, the violence started on May 3rd, and on the July of 19th, that was 79 days after turbulence, or basically violence, started on the state. Ma'am, on the 4th of July, the Manipur government had informed the Supreme Court that 142 deaths had already taken place till the 4th of July, after which the numbers could have increased. We are right now on the 31st of July. One thing I want to ask is, why are the people only talking about that particular viral video, and also why did the nation only wake up after the video went viral? Why didn't the nation wake up for the 142 deaths that took place already before July 4th? And who's now going to be responsible for the 142 deaths that that the Manipur government themselves reported?
I think the center and Manipur government are absolutely to blame. The central government was seeing Manipur burn for all these days and did not take any action. Even the viral video case, you see, the National Commission for Women received a complaint on the same on June 12th and refused to act on it for more than 38 days. When the video gets viral, then the National Commission for Women chairperson tweets that I'm taking suo motu cognizance on the issue. When how can it be suo motu? Because they already had a complaint with them. That complaint also mentions this 21 and 24-year girls who were gang raped and murdered, whom we finally met the brother. And the complaint mentions a 15-year-old girl's gang rape, a 19-year-old girl's gang rape, or the butchering of a 45-year-old woman, and absolute no action by the National Commission for Women. And that has been the case of the center. You see, the entire country has woken up after the viral video. But the center refuses to wake up even now. Even now, the Prime Minister is not making a statement. And forget about statements. We've had enough of statements. We want action. Why is the Prime Minister of the country not going to Manipur? I met so many survivors, and that is a question that they were asking me, because I am from Delhi. And really, I don't have any answers. The Prime Minister of the country, the Home Minister of the country, the Union WCD Minister, they right now have to be in Manipur. They have to speak to leaders of both the communities. They have to make sure that in a neutral manner this situation is dealt with. And the Chief Minister needs to be really sacked, because I don't think he has done any work. I think it's really something very sad. Like, I used to read the newspaper every day and my heart used to burn that, so many people have been killed. So much burning has happened in Manipur. It's burning and nobody is talking about it. But because my mandate is very different, I was just thinking about it. I was praying. But then suddenly something happened which shook me also completely out of my persona that I'm the chairperson of the Delhi Commission for Women. I'm supposed to do this. And I asked myself that question, that if I don't go to Manipur today when nobody else is going, if I don't act right now, will I justify my being a woman? Will I justify my being a Delhi Commission for Women chairperson? No. I cannot pretend that, my files I'm signing that, okay, this is happening, that is happening, I'm doing this work. No. Even when I've come back from Manipur, I'm not able to get over it. I mean, those thoughts, those prayers, of course, they are all with Manipur, but each and every time I sit alone, when I'm not doing any work, I'm constantly thinking about all those people who have suffered so much from Manipur. And it's so important that the Prime Minister of the country understands and imbibes this suffering. Till the time he will not go, these are just numbers, these are just videos. But if you go there and if you meet them, and if you meet the survivors, and when you hear their stories, and when you hear their constant sobs, I don't think that as a human being, anybody could be so pathetic that they would not respond. So it's extremely crucial, I feel, that this Prime Minister needs to go there, needs to get into action. Otherwise, really, I think the centre completely will fail Manipur.
All right, ma'am. Also, you had written a letter to the Bharatiya Janata Party President J.P. Nadda asking for assistance in taking care of a BJP MLA from Manipur, Vungzagin Walte, who was grievously harmed. And we have seen the reports as to what the demand was through your letter. But then on the very corresponding day, the Minister of Public Information of Manipur had said that the Manipur government has been assisting Vungzagin Walte from the day he was airlifted to a hospital. Now, ma'am, who do we believe? Do we believe the state government, or now do we believe in your statement, ma'am? And now that you've actually met Vungzagin Walte personally, what is his side of the story, ma'am?
See, what I have spoken is only his side of the story. I had never met him before. I don't know him. And I have met him now and his family. I met his wife as well. And how in such a scenario can anybody have any trust on Manipur government and on their department? Because at the end of the day, they are not doing anything. One can see that. Okay, they allowed the airlifting of Mr. Walte, but is that enough? Over 1 crore rupees will be spent in his treatment. Already 40 to 50 lakh rupees have been spent in his treatment. Has the Chief Minister met Mr. Walte even when he was in Imphal hospitalized? Did he have the shame to come and meet him? He was his advisor on tribal affairs. Has he called up Mrs. Walte? Has he tried to have any conversation with Mr. Walte and just tell him, Mr. Walte's words, that he has betrayed Manipur? These are his words, not my words. And right now, he's paralyzed. He's unable to move. He's bedridden. And I met this man who was so strong, because despite all of that, not even once did Mr. Walte mention how much pain is he in. No. All he kept saying was that my people are unsafe. Help me to reach them. I want to go back. It is my dream that I want to go back to my people because they really love me. So I see on one end a leader who's completely bedridden, whose family is destroyed, who probably may not be able to ever get up again and be the same. But even in those moments is thinking about Manipur and is trying to help Manipur. And I see a Chief Minister who does not have the courage to take things head on, who does not have the
humility and the empathy to go and meet the survivors of violence, and who has the shame of saying that I got Mr. Walse airlifted. Oh, great. We should, all clap for Mr. Biren Singh. I think he does not deserve to be the chief minister. Forget about chief minister. He does not even deserve to be called a human being.
All right, ma'am, as upon your touchdown on Imphal airport, when you were speaking to media persons, the first thing you said that you would do upon reaching Imphal would be to go and meet the chief minister. So, ma'am, were you able to meet the chief minister, and if you were able, what was the conversation, and if you can please share, what was the conversation about if you had met chief minister, ma'am?
I think Mr. Biren Singh does not have the courage to just face me. He does not have the courage to look me in the eyes, because that is exactly what he did. He just refused to meet me.
So
and how will he do it? A lone girl from Delhi comes all the way without any support, without knowing anybody, locals, government, no one I knew in Manipur before, except for a few friends in Delhi whom I call, people in Delhi whom I call as my friends. Except for them, I had no idea about Manipur. I end up going and meeting Chura Chandpur victims. I end up going meeting Kongpok Tea victims. And this man is, in a very shameless manner, completely holed up in his house. Have you seen Mr. Biren Singh come out? I have not, because I went to so many places. Nobody has seen him. It's a curious case of a missing chief minister. He's just sitting in his house and he's pretending as if everything is okay, and he's working from home. Excuse me, the chief minister's work is on the ground. It is not supposed to be restricted to the home. So how will he meet me? I don't think he has the courage or the guts to meet me, because I'm really going to give him a piece of my mind if I get to meet him.
All right, ma'am. So which means we can confirm that your initial idea, or actually your plan on visiting the chief minister, was not successful. So you did not meet Chief Minister N. Biren Singh.
I was not able to meet him. I really wanted to meet him. Even if now he calls me for a meeting, I'm going to fly down to Imphal and I want to meet him, because I really want to tell him what wrongs he is doing and how he has failed the state of Manipur. I also requested the governor of Manipur, and I was given an opportunity. She met me for almost 1.5 hours, and I could feel that this woman, she has her heart in the right place, and she is passionate, and she is trying to help. And like I said, I'm happy to know that finally, at least she only had to somehow take action, and she only had to give the compensation, a compensation that should have been released on the first day by Mr. Biren Singh's government, had to ultimately be released by the orders of the governor. So, Mr. Biren Singh, I don't think has any face to meet me, and if he decides to do so, I'm definitely coming down and I'm definitely giving him a piece of my mind.
All right, ma'am. Another update that is coming from the government of Manipur is that the situation ever since July 18th is being normal, and Manipur is slowly returning back to normalcy. Now, ma'am, you had gone there personally, you had visited the ground, you met victims, you heard a lot of atrocious stories. Do you feel that the statement that Manipur is now going back to normal is actually true, ma'am?
It is like you're just sitting in a room and you're closing your eyes and you don't want to address that there is an elephant in the room. And that is really what Mr. Biren Singh is right now doing. The situation in Manipur is extremely volatile. It is unstable. It is sensitive. There are thousands, and if I quote the governor of Manipur, 60,000, more than 60,000 people have been displaced. There is a firing that is going on. Guns are being fired. Of the 4,600 arms that were looted, less than 1,600 have been recovered. So there are arms that are sophisticated weapons right now in the hands of civilian groups. And the government of Manipur has the audacity to say that everything is normal. Compensation has not reached, legal aid has not reached, counseling has not reached, relief camps are just overflowing with people. There is no relief, and the government has the shame of calling it a normal situation. Can anybody from Imphal right now, from a particular community, can they go to districts which are dominated by the other community, or a person from that other community come back to Imphal? There is a de facto geographical and demographical separation that has happened. And on top of it, the government of Manipur is saying that things are getting back to normal. I'm sorry, things are not getting back to normal. The day I went to Churachampur, the day I went to Kongpoxi, I myself saw that there was firing that was happening. With great difficulty, we were somehow able to go there in one piece and return in one piece alive. In such circumstances where the Chief Minister of the day does not venture out of his house, obviously for him things are getting normal because he has an air condition in his house, he has all the facilities in his house, and that problem which people face, which people like Mr. Walde face, I really don't think Mr. Chief Minister has even has an understanding of what is going on in Manipur. And it's very shameful. It's really shameful.
All right, ma'am. Now, this question is for the chair. I mean, the chairperson of the Delhi Women Commission, and it comes from a lot of depth from many parents in the Northeast. Here in the Northeast, everybody realizes that Delhi is a wonderful city for their children to go there for education. But ma'am, you have been very vocal about the women's rights, especially in Delhi. Recently, you had just spoken about the Malviya Nagar incident in which a college-going student was literally beaten by an iron rod. Then you had also appealed to the central government to hold a meeting so that you can discuss the law and order situation, especially relating to women's rights and safety of women in Delhi. Now, a big question arises here amongst the parents of the Northeastern people, and that is one thing is they want to send their daughters to Delhi for a good education so that they can get into reputed colleges and institutions. But they are also apprehensive over the safety and concern. And now, as the chairperson of the Delhi Commission for Women, what would your appeal be to these parents who are apprehensive about sending their daughters to a beautiful city like Delhi to follow their education? So what kind of an appeal would you like to make, ma'am?
So I completely understand and appreciate the concerns of the parents because that is something that is very genuine. In Delhi, we are having 6 rapes every day. And the kind of murders that we have witnessed in the past 1 to 2 years, they're horrific. I mean, the brutality of the crime is really increasing. The Delhi Commission for Women on its own accord is trying its level best. We are issuing notices, we are getting FIRs registered, we are trying to support the survivors. In 6 years, we have handled over 100,000 complaints. And every day on our helpline, which is 181, we are receiving around 2,000 to 4,000 calls. And we have a team of network of around 23 cars, 66 round-the-clock counselors. Whenever a call is received, we actually send a team. We've done thousands of rescues through this process. So while the Delhi Commission for Women is working, and I'm very proud of that work, even I feel very unhappy and dissatisfied that despite all of this work, working on Saturdays, Sundays, day, night, at the end of the day, Delhi is not safe. That said, like I'm a Delhiite. It's a beautiful place. I love the city of Delhi, and it has a lot of opportunities. All I can say is that the Delhi Commission for Women will always support such girls, and in many cases, when there was discrimination against girls from the Northeast, the Delhi Commission for Women has intervened. So in case anybody needs any help, we are there. My office is in ITO. My number, the helpline number is 181. If you ring from Delhi, it will land on our helpline number, and we are there to help.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to speak to you. And also thank you so much for your endeavor in at least trying to provide a sense of relief, some sense of peace, some sense of justice to the people of Northeast and especially to Manipur through your visit there. And thank you for always being vocal about the importance of women's rights and especially when it comes to safety of women. And thank you for giving us your valuable time. We appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that was the Delhi Commission of Women Chief, Swati Maliwal, and you just heard about her personal visit to Imphal, Manipur that is, her interactions with the victims of violence, her interactions with inmates in relief camps, and also her suggestion as to what the government is doing in Manipur. She further appealed to the parents of northeastern states that if you are sending your daughters to the state of, to Delhi, the National Commission of Women, or rather the Delhi Commission of Women will always be there to support them. Well, for more interviews like this, keep watching Hornbill TV.